All right, back on the MSG 150 final, and you wake up Saturday morning, and I think we were all shocked to learn that Kenny Atkinson is no longer the coach of the Brooklyn Nets, and you start looking into it, and you start to realize that if the stars don't want you, or they're not buying into what you're trying to do in today's day and age, Monica, you can't coach.
So my friend Tyrone Johnson, who is, he covers Philly, the Sixers in Philly, I should say, he made this really great point. We were having this conversation on my pod, and he is like, a lot of times the coaches that do the developing don't actually get to take the squad to the promised land. And he referenced Dwayne Casey, Nick Nurse, Mark Jackson, Steve Kerr, just to name a quick couple. Similar thing happening here. I think we can't have it both ways when it comes to the NBA. I think it's the reason why it's celebrated in comparison to the NFL is because it is driven by the players, whether they're on Twitter or Instagram or engaging or they're front-facing. And this is kind of par for the course when it comes to that.
We know that Kenny made his name.
It's unfortunate. I'm not saying it's right.
Kenny made his name as the development coach. He likes to have his guys in early.
Unfair.
He likes to have them going up. I'm not saying that.
Why is that unfair?
Here's why. Because the Nets
Kyrie Irving doesn't want
are
to be
a
in 3 hours.
completely different team than they were. They're not the same team. See, the Warriors with Mark Jackson, that's the same group of guys. His voice with that group got stale or whatever it was. They wanted to make the change. They go to Steve Kerr. That you could see. You know, Nick Nurse took over a team that got Kawhi Leonard. You know, that's a little bit different. Yeah. And the same thing happens here where he never even he coached Kyrie for 20 games. KD never played.
And his
Kenny never had a chance to actually coach him.
It's already stale.
I don't believe that for a minute. It's not the voice didn't get stale with the guys who have been there through it with
Monica,
him.
They don't want to practice the way he demands it.
However you want to phrase it, it doesn't work.
He made their careers. And then two guys came in and took over the locker room, and the guys that Kenny had developed and turned into a team that made the playoffs last year, that was a fun team last year with D'Angelo Russell. Those guys had it. Let's see, do I side with the star or do I side with the coach?
Yeah.
And the easiest thing to do is you go with the stars.
So
Atkinson even said that
wasn't about
back
a voice
in December.
getting
He said that he knew his writing, the writing was on the wall.
He never coached
stale is the wrong. What I'm saying is whether you phrase it, the voice getting stale, the new stars, it doesn't work anymore for the organization is all that I'm saying. And we agree on that.
Does that make it right anymore?
I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. I'm saying that's
you've got to empower coaches. They're taking the power. And I don't mean power
this way. The coaches, huh? You can't empower coaches over KD or Kyrie. Ain't nobody coming to Brooklyn to see Kenny Atkinson.
How were the Nets before?
I agree with you, but what I'm saying is they went out
and now you're turning your back on a guy who got you, who dragged you out of what they were in a couple of years ago. And you turn your back on him?
They started turning their back on the players when they went out and got these big-time guys in free agency. If you want to take it down and turn in their back.
You sold your soul. That's basically what you did.
So what I'm saying to you is this is the NBA that we love, and in this moment, we don't like it. But ain't nobody coming to no gym to see Kenny Atkinson. So if Kyrie and KD say bye, then out. He's going to be the man. He's fine.
But even Kenny said himself that in December that he felt that his time was running short. So he saw kind of the writing on the wall and knew that this was going to come. So.
I'm not saying that it's right.
If you read The Athletic, they had a players-only team meeting, and Durant got up there and started to complain about the culture.
Which is why he chose the Nets. At least that's what he told us. We were told that Kyrie loved what he saw on the Nets bench and how they celebrated, had a great time, and KD loved what they were developing in Brooklyn, and they had something. So you're telling me you loved everything about it, then showed up and went, no, we got to change it.
Without playing a game. Without playing a game. Or even practicing with the team.
Another issue.
Kyrie also told us he wasn't leaving Boston. So how long have you been in this business?
That's another story completely.
You know, if you believe The Athletic, that DeAndre Jordan, Jared Allen split in minutes, where DeAndre Jordan's another of the new guys that was signed.
What was the first move made?
To go get him.
DeAndre Jordan became a center.
Yeah, Jock Vaughn.
If that's not any more, how much more obvious can you make it?
He feels like he was told he was going to start.
They have it. They have all the talent in the world, and next year they could be a really good team. We'll see who becomes their coach, or I should say their buddy, who just tells them X's and O's, and then whatever you guys want, we're not going to push you, we're not going to upset you. That's the league today. It's a shame. Greg Popovich did what he did in San Antonio because he could take Tony Parker to task. He could take Tim Duncan to task.
Because Tim Duncan bought in.
Exactly.
But think about the era of that, too, though,
you
Alan.
are out.
You got to think about the era of that, too, though.
But that's
about Tony Parker,
I think that still exists. Jimmy Butler, like Tom Thibodeau could do that with Jimmy Butler.
But this conversation,
he could do it with him.
This conversation is league-wide in terms of leadership and the way we go about free agency and the whole nine, right? Like, we have left the days of Popovich, Tim Duncan, the Admiral, Tony Parker. I don't know, but that's where we are. But if we're going to go and pick and pop and I got this money that I can put together to make this super team, then the coaches are a part of that collateral too.
Yeah. Now, is this unique to New York, specific to New York? Take a look.
Well, we got problems
because
here.
The longest tenured coach manager is Aaron Boone, and he was hired in 2017. The second line is all the changes that have happened since December.
2 seasons.
This December of 2019, look at all that's happened
Look at
here.
this.
The month of December and also early January. Wow.
And by the way, the Giants in that span since Aaron Boone, I believe they've gone through 2 coaches.
And the Mets have had a couple
gone
managers.
through 2 coaches in a month or 2 months, whatever it is.
Beltran, right?
Like it's
What is it,
what's
New
going on
Yorker?
here?
Talk to us. Talk to us.
Well,
I don't know
obviously
if it's
tough to coach.
There's a lot
here.
of teams here
And
too,
we
which
haven't had
skews
much
the whole
winning.
thing.
We haven't had much winning.
But it's
well,
all-
it's pretty clear.
But it's also society too, right? I mean, if you're not winning right away and you're not winning over people right away, then you're going to get shipped
But
out. That's
you're
what
right.
happens.
And again, I think it goes back to what I was just talking about when it comes to Brooklyn. I think this is not just a Nets issue. This is a sports issue. I think we have taken away the value of a coach, and a coach being the voice of his team. And now you're saying, well, the stars matter most, and if the stars don't like the coach, we always side with the stars. Like you said, nobody's buying tickets to watch a coach coach, but I am buying tickets to watch a team win.
I got you.
And I do like a team that plays like a team, and that's what Brooklyn was last year.
Yeah.
They played like a team. They were a fun team, and now they're a star-driven team, and now it's going to be on them to win because of this happening. It's on you guys, and you better win because of that decision because they just let go of not only a great coach, but a guy that bled for that franchise, took a lot of L's early on
They did.
when they had to get out of whatever they get into. So, okay, but you moved on from somebody that was very loyal, and you weren't loyal to him.
Tell them why you're mad, Alan.
All right.
He also went to St. Anthony's.
All right.